please do like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon.
Hello students, so in this chapter solutions we have been deriving, we have started different colligative properties and we have derived the equations for various colligative properties. And from the equations of the colligative property, what we have done, we have found out an equation or a formula to find out the molecular mass of a solute. So let us study something more about the colligative properties as well as the behavior of the solute when they are being dissolved in a solvent. Now look here. So solutes over here, just imagine, suppose if this is a solvent, a liquid taken in, let it be water or any other solvent, and we are putting one solute particle inside this container, into this solvent, and this one solute particle, it breaks up or it dissociates to form two particles, that is breaking up takes place over here. Now if you will calculate the, suppose here if you are from the chemical formula, you are calculating the molecular mass from the chemical formula. At the same time, after this particle that has been put into the solvent, it is breaking up into two. So depending on a colligative property, you are finding out the molecular mass. So obviously the molecular mass that you are calculating on the basis of the colligative property, this will not be same as the molecular mass calculated on the basis of the chemical formula. At the same time, it sometimes so happens, suppose if you are having two solute particles and you are putting into a solvent, and after going into the solvent, both the particles, that is two solute particles, both the solute particles are same, so both of them, they unite or they associate and they form one particle. So here also, suppose if you are finding out the molecular mass depending on the chemical formula, this molecular mass will not be same as the molecular mass calculated on the basis of the colligative property. Here when you are putting into it, that is in the basis of the colligative property, what we have done, that is we have made a solvent and we have found out different colligative properties and we have calculated the molecular mass. So here on the basis of the colligative property, if you are finding out the molecular mass, this molecular mass and this molecular mass, this will not be same, this will not be equal. Here also the molecular mass that we are calculating on the basis of the colligative property. So I am writing down over here colligative property, based on the colligative property. So both of them are not same. So here we are, it is showing some abnormal behavior over here. So this extent of abnormal behavior, how much abnormal behavior that is, it has been showing, that extent of abnormal behavior, this we studied on the basis of a factor which is called as the Van't Hoff factor, that is I. Now first of all, we can say that the observed molecular mass of a solute determined on the basis of a colligative property, that is we are determining on the over here, is different from the normal value as expressed from the chemical formula. So the observed molecular mass is referred to as the abnormal molecular mass. That means this molecular mass which we are determining on the basis of the colligative property, this on the basis of the colligative property, this molecular mass is abnormal molecular mass. This is abnormal molecular mass, and this here also this is the abnormal molecular mass. So this abnormal molecular mass, the extent of this abnormal molecular mass, this is represented, we find out by a factor which is known as the Van't Hoff factor. So this I is equals to Van't Hoff factor. So we can say this I, that is Van't Hoff factor, we are saying that this is what ratio of I or Van't Hoff factor is equal to Van't Hoff factor is equal to ratio of, that is ratio of observed experimental value of a colligative property to the calculator, or to its normal calculated value. That is, here you are getting the abnormal value and here there is a normal value. So this ratio of observed experimental value to the normal calculated value, this ratio is called as the Van Hoff factor. We can say the extent of this abnormal behavior, this is equals to the Van Hoff factor. So we can say I, that is a Van Hoff factor, is equals to observed colligative property, observed, I am writing down in short, colligative property upon calculated colligative property. The ratio of the observed colligative property upon the calculated colligative property, this is what is your Van Hoff factor. So obviously here in this case, what can be, and at the same time we have already studied over here, that is the colligative property is proportional to the number of particles of solute. Number of particles of solute. Number of particles of solute. This we have already studied. That is a colligative property. Always a colligative property is dependent on the number of particles of the solute. And at the same time, when you have calculated the formula for the molecular mass, we always found out there is a molecular mass. Molecular mass, we have already seen this, that is m dash, molecular mass of solute, that is m dash, was always inversely proportional to the colligative property, or was always inversely proportional to the number of particles of solute in solution. So this is what was our, so obviously we can say that is a molecular mass of a solute, that is m dash is proportional, inversely proportional to the colligative property, or it is inversely proportional to the number of particles into the solution. So Van Hoff factor I is equals to delta observed upon delta calculated. Now what this delta over here, it means delta represents the colligative property. That is a colligative property which is observed, ratio of the colligative property observed to the colligative property which we are calculating over here on the basis of the molecular, that is on the basis of the chemical formula. So for lowering of vapor pressure, we get that is I is equals to vapor pressure. So change in the pressure. So change in pressure we represent by delta P, that is delta P observed upon delta P calculated. For elevation of boiling point, I will be equal to change in temperature, again that is change in the boiling point. So delta T, if you remember when I have explained you about the elevation of boiling point in the previous video. So that is delta TB observed upon delta TB calculated. Then for depression of freezing point, this we get same in the same way as we get for the elevation of boiling point, that is delta TF, that is change in the, that is lowering of the vapor pressure, lowering of the freezing point or depression of the freezing point. So delta TF we are representing over here. So here for depression and freezing point, delta TF observed upon delta TF calculated. For osmotic pressure, which we have calculated just some time back, that is observed, pi observed upon pi calculated. Now here the colligative property, as I told you in another, that is a previous video, colligative property is directly proportional to the number of solute particles. So at the same time, that is delta observed, that is a colligative property which is observed, is proportional to the number of particles present into the solution, that is the observed value. When you are putting into the container, how many number of particles you get, whether it becomes 2 or 1. So after putting into the solution, the number of particles which we get, that is called as the delta observed value. And delta calculated is what? Normal number of particles. Normal number of particles means what? The particles which or the molecular mass that we are calculating on the basis of the chemical formula, that is a normal number of particles which are, or we can say the initial number of particles which are present, that is which are normally present before we are putting into the solution, that is called as the normal number of particles. So here I is equal to delta observed upon delta calculated. So this will be what? Number of particles present in solution, that is after it has been put into the solution, whether it is undergoing association or dissociation, whether the number of particles are increasing or decreasing upon the normal number of particles, that is before putting into the solvent. So here delta observed, we also have studied, that is the colligative property is inversely proportional to the molecular mass. So a colligative property which is observed is inversely proportional to the molecular mass which is observed. At the same time, colligative property, that is delta colligative property, is inversely proportional to the molecular mass which has been calculated. So here we substitute into this, it is I is delta observed upon delta calculated. So because it is inversely proportional, obviously what we'll be doing, that is 1 by m dash observed upon 1 by m dash calculated. So this will it will come up and we get it. Otherwise also it is both of them that are inversely proportional, so we get a relationship that is m dash calculated upon m dash observed. So m dash calculated is what? That is the normal number of particles before we are putting into the solution. Or suppose if you are calculating the molecular mass depending on the chemical formula, it can be considered that over here. M observed means what? Number of particles in solution. After you put into the solution, that is the number of particles in solution. So I we get is normal molecular mass if you are calculating the molecular mass of a solute. So if you are calculating, here we are just discussing in general about the colligative property, but if you are calculating if you are finding out the Van't Hoff factor for the molecular mass. So Van't Hoff factor I is equals to normal molecular mass. Normal molecular mass means what? The molecular mass which you are calculating on the basis of chemical formula. I'm just writing down over here so that it becomes easier for you to understand. And observed molecular mass means what? Once it has been put into the solution, then you are calculating it after putting into the solution, which is undergoing association or dissociation. That is after it has been put into the solution. After it is in solution. So this is just only for your understanding, but the equation for I is what? Our I we represent it as normal molecular mass upon observed molecular mass. Now we have studied the 4 colligative properties. One of them was the lowering of vapor pressure. So lowering of vapor pressure, we got an equation, a relationship that is P0 minus P upon P0 is equals to chi of solute. Now how much this, there will be abnormality that is represented by Van't Hoff factor. So what we'll be doing, we will be just writing down, we'll multiply by the Van't Hoff factor I over here. So that whatever the abnormality, just because this is the extent of the abnormality, so whatever is the chi of solute will just multiply with the Van't Hoff factor. Then elevation of boiling point, we also got a relationship that is Kb into m, that is ebullioscopic constant. Kb is what? Ebullioscopic constant into m. Okay, that is the molar mass over here. So over here, Kb into m, that is molality, m is the molality, Kb is the ebullioscopic constant. So again we are multiplying with the Van't Hoff factor, because there may be some abnormality, because all these equations we are using for finding out the molecular mass on the basis of what? Colligative property. So wherever we are finding out the colligative property, we have to multiply with the Van't Hoff factor. Then osmotic pressure, that is pi v is equals to nRT, and here we are multiplying it with I, that is the extent of abnormality, that is your Van't Hoff factor. Then depression of freezing point, which is same as your elevation of boiling point, that is delta Tf, that is the lowering of the temperature, that is I is equals to Kf into m, where Kf is a constant, that is a cryoscopic constant into molality. Now let us have some particular examples of the solute particles undergoing association or dissociation. Let's see what happens to them. So here let us see that is potassium chloride. Potassium chloride, if you are putting into water, it will dissociate, forming K plus plus Cl minus. That means you are putting one particle and it is forming 2 over here. So initially it was 1 over here and it is forming 2 over here. So obviously Van't Hoff factor, that is I, will be what? Observed upon the normal value, so 2 by 1. So this 2 by 1, obviously this is equals to 2. So this 2 is greater than 1. Similarly, if you take that is your benzoic acid, that is C6H5COOH. Benzoic acid, if you are putting into your benzene, into the solution of benzene, it will dimerize, that is C6H5COOH. You're taking 2 molecules. Now here what happens, it is dissociation has taken place. Dissociation has taken place. We take another example, that is 2 molecules of benzoic acid. We are taking into the solution of benzene. So it is forming a dimer over here. Suppose when 3 molecules are combining together, that is called as trimer. When 4 molecules are combining together, it is called as a tetramer. So over here two molecules we are taking and it will form a dimer. That is, it is going to undergo association. Now how it will undergo association, let me show you. C6H5C, that is C double bond O over here, and this is OH. Now this will combine with another molecule of your benzoic acid, that is C double bond O, and this will be over here O and H. So a bond has been formed between the two molecules over here, that is C6H5. So we are taking two molecules, and both these molecules, there were two molecules. We are putting two molecules into the solution, but when you look into the solution, you will be seeing it was only one. It is in this way. You are putting two molecules. Two molecules you are putting, but when you look into the solution, you will find only one. Same thing in this case, what is happening over here? You are putting one molecule, but you will be finding over here two molecules or two particles, one of K plus and another of Cl minus. So this is what it is undergoing association into the solution. So here Vent-Off factor, how will be calculating over here? What is happening over here? That is, here it was 2, and that is in the initial case it was 2. I am writing down over here 2, and you can see 1 over here into the solution. So Vent-Off factor I will be what? That is this value upon this value. That is, this is the observed value, and this is what we have already calculated over here. So 1 by 2. Now this 1 by 2 is what? Is greater than, is less than 1. Look here. It is undergoing dissociation. So we are putting 1 over here and it is forming two particles over here. So here Vent-Off factor I will be what? 2 by 1 observed value upon this one, which is already we are calculating in initially. So that is, it is equals to 2. 2 is greater than 1 over here. Similarly, this is an example of association. We are taking benzoic acid and benzene. So this two molecules we are taking over here, it will undergo association. Here weak bonds that has been formed over here, it will associate to, and we will be able to see only one molecule over there. So look here, this way it is undergoing association. This is one molecule of your benzoic acid, this is another molecule. It is combining together, undergoing association. So Vent-Off factor will be what? This one, that is the observed value upon this calculated over here. So 1 by 2, which is less than 1 over here. Now let us see what happens to the solute particles, colligative property and the molecular mass. So I'll just rub it off. So solute particles, then we are having the colligative property. I am writing down in short, or let me write down full so that property. Then here is the molecular mass, and what will happen to I. Okay, so when it is undergoing dissociation, when the particles are undergoing dissociation, so from 1 we are getting 2, so number of solute particles increases. So we write down over here, either you can show it with an arrow, we can write down over here increases. So I am representing with an arrow over here. And number of solute particles are directly proportional to the colligative property, so this will also increase. But colligative property is inversely proportional to molecular mass, so this is going to decrease. So this is going to decrease. Similarly, association, now what will happen to I? I have just shown you with the example of potassium chloride. So we got that value of I is greater than 1. You remember we got 2 for potassium chloride, so I is greater than 1. Similarly, association. So solute particles, what will happen to the number of the solute particles? Association, number of solute particles decreases. So decrease. So we represent with a downward arrow. It will be easier for you to remember. This is proportional, so this will also be decreasing. You know why? Because solute particles, number of solute particles is directly proportional to the colligative property. So this will also decrease. But colligative property is inversely proportional to molecular mass, so this will increase. So we represent with an upward arrow. And what will happen to I? I will be less than 1. You remember for, that is benzoic acid in benzene, we found that it was half. So it is less than 1. I gave you that particular example. Now let us calculate the degree of association and degree of dissociation. I'll just rub it off because I'll be needing the full board. So calculation of degree of association. So degree of association. Now first of all, let us represent the degree of association by alpha. Alpha with the degree of association. Now what is degree of association? That is number of solute particles undergoing association to the total number of solute particles present in solution, that is to the total number of solute particles or total number of moles taken or total number of moles taken. Okay, this is the degree of association. This is the formula for degree of association. Now let us assume that is n moles of A associate to form AN. N moles of A associate to form AN. Many number of moles. How many number of moles? N moles of A. They are combining together. They are associating to form one particle, that is they are associating to form AN. So we can just write down this, that is n moles of A is associating to form AN. Let me leave some space. That is n moles of A is associating to form AN. N moles of A associating to form AN. Now just imagine when T is equals to 0, when time is 0. So this is what 1 mole and this is what 0. And after some time that is at equilibrium. At equilibrium, this will be 1 minus alpha, that is your degree of association. How many it has been? Why 1 minus alpha? Because 1 was initially and some particles have associated. So 1 minus alpha, and this will be what? Alpha by n. That is degree of association upon the total number of, that is the number of moles, alpha by n. Now total number of moles, if we calculate, that is total number of moles. How will, that is into the solution present. So this will be what? 1 minus alpha plus n by alpha by n. We get the total number of moles. Now I's value, that is your Vent Hoff factor, we already found that is m dash calculated upon m dash observed. If you are relating the Vent Hoff factor with molecular mass, so Vent Hoff factor is equal to m dash calculated upon m dash observed. So this will be what? M dash calculated, we have calculated over here 1 minus alpha plus L by alpha by n upon observed value was what? 1, because we are putting one particle over here. So we take this 1 over here, observed value is 1, we are putting 1 over here. Therefore 1 minus, that is if we are just bringing this 1 on this side, that is 1 minus m dash calculated upon m dash observed. So what we'll be getting? That is over here we'll just change the sign, that is alpha by n, alpha minus alpha by n. Look here, we are bringing this 1 on this side, and then alpha, that is this, we are just changing the sign, that is alpha minus alpha by n over here. So m observed, m dash observed. I hope it's clear to you students. Just this one we are bringing it on this side. So when it is plus 1, it is becoming minus 1 over here. But we are just changing the sign so that this becomes plus 1 and this was plus, which was earlier plus, this will become minus. So we are changing the sign throughout. So this will be what? Alpha by n, this was plus, we are changing the minus sign over here. This was minus, it is becoming plus over here. So we get the, so now I hope it's clear to you. So m dash observed minus m dash calculated upon m dash observed. This will be getting, that is, let us take alpha outside, that is 1 minus 1 by n outside the bracket. So this m dash observed minus m dash calculated upon m dash observed, this will be, so we get over here, that is alpha into n minus 1 by n minus, this will be n minus 1 by n. Okay, so here alpha's value, that is alpha, will be equal to m dash observed. We are getting from here alpha is equals to m dash observed minus m dash calculated. We are bringing this, the whole term over here. So m dash calculated upon m observed. We are bringing this n over here, that is into n, this whole thing, this n over here. So into n upon n minus 1. Okay, so from this equation, that is this degree of association, we know all other things, we can find out the degree of association for the substances of the solutes which undergo association into the solvent. Now let us calculate the degree of dissociation. I hope it's clear. I'll rub the board, you just go through it. So here next we will be calculating degree of dissociation. So degree of dissociation, let us represent degree of dissociation again by the same sign alpha, that is alpha is equals to number of solute particles undergoing dissociation. Undergoing dissociation to the total number of moles taken, to the total number of moles taken, or total number of solute particles present into the solution. Both of them are the same thing. Now just imagine, suppose a particle that is A, it is under, that is when you put into the solution, it is forming your, it is undergoing dissociation to form n1 of A plus, sorry, n1 of B, many number of particles, it is undergoing dissociation, plus n2B, n2C plus dash dash dash, that is many number of particles that has been formed. Now look at just when T is equals to 0, this is going to be 1 because no dissociation has taken place, and this is going to be 0. At equilibrium, this will be what, that is A 1 minus alpha, because obviously initially it was 1 and degree of dissociation is alpha. So 1 minus alpha, and this will be many number of particles, many number of fragments it is forming over there. It is undergoing dissociation. So this will be n alpha. So we have number of moles of A, that is number of moles of A. Number of moles of A left undissociated. Number of moles of A left undissociated, this is equals to how much? This part, that is 1 minus alpha, degree of dissociation, and number of moles of ions formed. Number of moles of ions formed, this will be what? That is n alpha, this n alpha. Now total number of moles present after when this process is taking place, if you find out into the solution the total number of moles. So total number of moles, present, what we'll be doing, we'll be adding it up. That is 1 minus alpha plus n alpha. So here I is equals to what? Again we come to the Van't Hoff factor, that is number of particles present in solution upon total number of particles, that is normal number of particles. Normal number of particles. Now what is normal number of particles? Number of particles present in solution means what? This total number of particles present into the solution. And what about normal number of particles present? That is before this we have started, that is when it was 1, which when we were putting, we found that it was 1. So that will be what? I will be what? That is, so we get over here, that is I is equals to number of particles present. So this will be what? 1 minus alpha plus n alpha, and this normal number of particles that is in the beginning when we are putting into the solution. So this will be 1. So this will be, I will consider just as 1 minus alpha plus n alpha. Now, so here what we'll be doing is that we'll bring this 1 on this side. So obviously that I minus 1, we are bringing this 1 on this side. So I minus 1, this will be what? N alpha minus alpha, that is this n alpha minus alpha. We are just rearranging it. We are bringing this 1 on this side. So this 1 will become minus. So I minus 1 is equals to n alpha minus alpha. Now what we'll be doing, we'll be taking this alpha outside the bracket. So I minus 1 is equals to alpha outside the bracket, n minus 1 we get over here. So once we get over here, we'll find out the value of alpha. Alpha is equals to what? That is I minus 1 upon n minus 1. Okay. Now I, we already know what is I. I is equals to, if we are comparing with the molecular mass, on the I on the basis of the molecular mass. So m dash calculated upon m dash observed. This we have already been just seeing it. Therefore, we get the value of I, that is m dash calculated over. So we'll substitute this value into this equation over here. That is alpha, or degree of dissociation, is equals to m dash calculated upon m dash observed minus 1 upon n minus 1. Therefore, degree of dissociation or alpha is equals to what? M dash calculated minus m dash observed upon m dash observed into n minus 1, that is this n minus 1 over here. So we get the equations, we get the relationship for finding out the degree of dissociation over here. At the same time, we have also found out the equation or the relationship to find out the degree of association. We have seen the particular examples of the substances undergoing association and dissociation. So we complete with this over here. Thank you, students.